Hey everybody, it's Scotty from Scotty Might Know, the Broke Urban Farmer. And I know I've been absent for a couple days, and work's been busy. Yeah, I'm not turning on my heat yet. It's actually colder in my house than it is outside. It's ridiculous. But, I mean, I'm still comfortable in just a t-shirt. It's whatever. But, so, knock it off, animals. So I've been busy, and it's all work related, and it's not really bad. It's just been a lot of hours. The last 2 days I put in 15, 16 hours each day, and that in part is because of the company that I work for is going through this whole transition and change into a more person-centered approach. And for those that don't know, I work with adults with developmental and physical disabilities, and for years and years and years, the system was horribly oppressive towards them. And the company I work for has always advocated and always has been amazing, and we always see areas for improvement. So we are going through another round of changes to even further promote and expand the horizons of the people that we support. So that's why I haven't been able to post anything lately. But with that, I kind of want to talk about the plans that need to start happening outside before it actually gets cold. I need to build a new bunny enclosure because the current system I have is not going to keep them warm enough during the winter. I need to build my $50 greenhouse, and I plan on, I don't know if it's going to be a $50 greenhouse. That's my goal, but the City Stead, another great YouTube channel, I'll link them above here. They have a little series on their channel on how they made their cattle panel greenhouse, and I'm going to follow that because I think that's the method I'm going to go. And then just I also want to rearrange the layout of my backyard and my garden. I want to make it look cuter. Jess and Maya from Roots and Refuge have an amazing garden, and I need to, if I'm wanting the urban movement to pick up in the area that I live in, I need to make sure that mine is a place where I can invite people over and I can teach and I can help and we can learn together. And as it is right now, it's just kind of my hillbilly thrown together scraps from an old deck fencing type of garden. And as you guys have seen, and so I need to really work to change that. So while it's wet and gloomy and rainy out, I'm not going to be going around and showing you the garden. I'm going to insert some photos and do some voiceover and kind of show you like a dream board of what my goals are for the layout and the project that are lying ahead here. And the only good thing about being at work so long is now I have overtime and now I have some extra money to do some of these projects with. The wife and I are currently in a stage where we both make enough money for us to live happily off of, but we are poor because we are at a point where we can actually start paying off things. So we've given ourselves a very strict budget, as in we don't do like a detailed, this is for groceries and this is for out to eat and this is for bills. We kind of calculated up how much our bills are. My wife, numbers and me don't match, but she calculated it up how long it would take to pay off house, cars, and our furnace, and then she got it. We had a goal. We want to be essentially debt-free apart from my student loans by 2022. And so she created a plan that topped that. And according to her plan, we should be there by fall 2021. And by doing that, she just calculated how much money we would need to put towards our bills to do that, and then we just kind of survive off the rest and make it work. And so far, we're making it work. It's been a little tricky. This week, I had to go without my gas station sodas because I didn't have the extra money to spend on it. So, you know, first world problems. But with the overtime, I know we should put them towards bills that we're trying to pay off, but at the same time, there are goals that I want for my house and my garden, and I'm going to use some of that extra money to accomplish those goals. And I'm always thrifty, and I check the Facebook marketplaces. I do the Habitat for Humanity restore. If there's a way that I can find to cut costs and do it myself, then I'm going to do that. There's a reason I am the broke urban farmer. I don't have a disposable income really unless I do overtime, to be able to devote to the garden projects. And my wife set me those parameters as well. Once I started YouTube and I started doing the gardening a couple years ago, she said, that's fine, but you've got to make it work within a no budget type of a thing. So far we have, and I plan on continuing to do that. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and start showing you guys the dream board. I don't have an actual board put together. I'm not that crafty. Well, I am, but I'm lazy. So I'm going to just pop up different pictures, voice over, and explain where I want things kind of laid out on my property. The ideas or inspirational posts behind things that I found. Pinterest is amazing, but also overwhelming because it gives you way too many ideas. And so I kind of go over that here with you and get your feedback on what you think the design I have kind of come up with is going to do for me and kind of work out for me. So without further ado, let's take a look at what I want to do.
Okay, so here's an overview of my property. The yellow lines here are outlining what my property plot looks like. It's 50 by 100 feet, and then you can see where the house is, and then the lawn, and then you can kind of see where I have garden laid out here, but I'll highlight that here in a minute. Okay, so here I'm filling in with dark green where my current garden beds are. There's the back garden that you saw there in the backyard, and then the front garden that I just recently put in where I have the tongues of fire beans planted. As you can see, it's not a big portion of the property. I'd like to change that. This red area is where the rabbits currently are, and that's probably where they're going to stay. That's my plan anyway. Okay, so I showed you the current layout of the garden, and this blue line here now is going to be kind of where I want to adjust and move. Ignore I'm drawing this with my hand on my phone. And so that back areas, I want to center and enlarge the back garden. The front area, I want to create new space there, and then I'll keep that initial garden bed that's in the front on the right-hand side. So in the back there, those two blue lines are going to be two new raised bed areas. And then the green line is going to be where the greenhouse that I want to build is going to go. That spot of the property is full of sun most of the day, most of the year. So I figured that was going to be the best option. The red area you saw fill in there is an enlarged area for the rabbits. And that black line area is going to be a new composting area or worm bins. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but something to be able to naturally amend my soil from my own property. Okay, so that was what the layout of my property looks like and kind of my goals and plans for the new layout. Now I'm going to show you what my current garden fencing and structure looks like, and then I'll show you what I'd like it to look like when I do a rebuild of the garden. Okay, so here's the basic layout and structure of my big garden in the backyard. I used pallet wood across the front there, and then I used an old deck railing across the side, and then existing chain link fence around the very back, and then the far right side there. And that's pretty much it. I used down the center there on the ground some 2x4 planks that were pulled from the deck that we tore down to kind of lay out the garden bed. It's really simple. It was all repurposed material from a deck that needed to be torn down. Okay, so with the new design, I'd like to do something similar to this. A white picket fence with old reclaimed doors for the gate, and then like an arbor system around that the doors are framed into. I can definitely drop the pink flowers though. Not vibing on that. The rabbit's current area looks like this. I did throw a cover over it. And then the new structure I want to build is something similar to this, made out of pallets and reclaimed wood, just so I have enough space for my pet breeding rabbits, I should say. They're too snuggly to not be considered pets. And then like some grow out pens as well for any meat rabbits that I do. Okay, and for my greenhouse, I just want to make a simple one for this year, something kind of like this, made out of wood and cattle panels. My goal is to be able to do it for $50 or less. We'll see if I can do it. So I'm also planning to potentially transform my current shed into a potting shed to go along with the greenhouse. And with that, I'd like to put down like reclaimed brick floors and potting tables and stuff like that too. But right now it looks like a hoarder's nest out there, so we'll have to see what happens with that. But that is also kind of on my list because I'd like to have a potting space and a growing space with the greenhouse. And then I forgot to mention it, but in the front garden space that I want to add, that L-shaped that I did in blue on the left-hand side, that focus for that area is going to be more fruit oriented. So I have a blueberry and raspberry plants over in that area right now. I'd like to add more of those, as well as find a dwarf peach tree as well, or two, we'll see, to put up in that area. And I also have grapevines up front too. So I would like to try and incorporate more of the fruit side of things. I might even add in a strawberry bed up there. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that vegetables are focused everywhere else in my garden. I don't have a space for fruit. That area could potentially work for that, and that's kind of what my game plan for that is. So I think that wraps it up. Kind of gives you some ideas of what I'm thinking, some of the Pinterest posts that have inspired me as well. I'd like to know what you think, if you like the new design, or if you have any other more efficient design plans for the property layout that I have. I'm open to any ideas if you think there's something more efficient use-wise of my land. By all means, comment down below or private message me, anything like that. I'm open to ideas. But with that being said, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.